News as we come on the air, stunning new developments in that deadly Boeing crash. Black box bombshell. Ethiopian authorities now say the pilots on that fatal Ethiopian Airlines flight followed all Boeing procedures, but still couldn't get the jet under control, leading to that deadly nosedive. The new developments directly disputing other reports. Our aviation expert with the latest.
Also right now, the race against time to rescue an American tourist kidnapped on safari. Taken by gunmen demanding a $500,000 ransom. We're there live in Uganda.
Joe Biden's mea culpa. The former vice president addressing those concerns about inappropriate contact, promising to change as he appears closer to entering the race for the White House.
And only on GMA, Mayor Pete. Now surging in the polls for the Democratic nomination, the war vet and openly gay mayor Pete Buttigieg is here live.
ABC News exclusive, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg one-on-one with George as his company comes under fire. What he's saying about privacy and interference in the election.
So you can't guarantee it's not going to happen again.
The interview first on GMA.
And missing boy mystery. A possible break. The child who disappeared 8 years ago, last seen on this surveillance tape, now possibly found. The teen coming forward claiming he's Timothy Pitson.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And good morning, America. Hope you're well this Thursday morning. It is a busy one.
You've been especially busy. We've got a lot ahead, including those two big exclusive interviews. Your one-on-one with Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and we just said it, Mayor Pete Buttigieg standing by. He just released a video teasing a big announcement. Much more with him on ahead. Wonder what that big announcement is.
Recent weeks.
Yeah,
He's been surging, that's right. But first, we're going to begin with that breaking news on that fatal Boeing flight. Ethiopian officials now says the plane's black boxes revealed the pilots did follow the proper procedures before the crash. Let's get right to our senior transportation correspondent, David Curley, at Reagan Airport with the latest. Good morning, David.
Morning, Michael. It's not just the investigators. Ethiopian Airlines is saying that its pilots were in full compliance when that safety system in the Boeing MAX misfired. They couldn't regain control of the plane. But two sources are telling ABC News that is not the full story.
Ethiopian authorities this morning saying their preliminary investigation points to the anti-stall system in the Boeing 737 MAX, which crashed, killing all on board.
The crew performed all the procedures repeatedly provided by the manufacturer, but was not able to control the aircraft.
But Ethiopia did not immediately release or post its report, nor answer questions posed by ABC News' reporting on the crash. Two aviation sources close to the investigation telling us a sensor, apparently damaged at takeoff, started a chain of events which led to the crash. That one sensor, a vane outside the cockpit, was likely hit by a bird or foreign object. Like in the first crash, Lion Air in Indonesia, bad data from that sensor then engaged the anti-stall system, MCAS, which nosed down the jet.
Away we go downhill.
As we learned in a simulator, the procedure for pilots is to use a thumb button to electronically nose up the plane first. It's called trimming the aircraft. If that fails, Boeing's emergency procedure calls to shut off the power to the motors, which nose up or down the plane. One source says the pilots went immediately to shut off the system before pulling the nose up, and then, for some still unknown reason, turn the system back on, which is not part of the procedure. The lead Ethiopian investigator asked about that, did not provide an answer, but he disputed the report of the sensor being damaged by a bird or foreign object.
Did not find any information regarding the FOD on the aircraft. The data retrieved from the FDR doesn't indicate that there is an FOD.
Now, the FAA and the NTSB contributed to this report. While that short newscast or news conference was held, we have not actually seen the report yet. We have not seen the data nor the preliminary report. Cecilia?
David Curley, thank you. Let's bring in our aviation expert, Colonel Steve Ganyard. Steve, we just heard the headline there from David. The Ethiopians are essentially blaming Boeing, saying the pilots followed the instructions for the plane. But we had heard that the crew really struggled to regain control of that plane. So what's the truth here?
Cecilia, unfortunately, this press conference today didn't move the ball forward. We really didn't learn much more about what caused this mishap. We had two comments, one from a transportation minister who said some very reasonable things, that there's a problem with this airplane that needs to be fixed. The other were the comments from the CEO of the airline. His comments are questionable. Our very well-sourced reporting says that his pilots, in fact, did not comply with the appropriate procedures. They did switch off the system that was giving a problem, but for some reason they switched that system back on, which caused the airplane to nose into the ground. So at the end of this press conference, we really don't know much more, and we're going to have to continue on with that software fix that will make sure this doesn't happen again.
And as we've been reporting, meantime, back here at home, hundreds of these 737 MAX 8s remain grounded. Where do we go now?
The software fix is still in work. The FAA and Boeing thought it was going to be out this week, but given the congressional pressure on the FAA to make sure this is really fixed and that this software fix is not being rushed, they're taking double check and triple check to make sure that the software fix is appropriate and that this airplane never has a problem like this again.
Okay, Steve Ganyard, thank you. Still so many questions. They don't know about the report. They haven't seen the data yet, so a lot of questions
They've
still.
got to get that software fix right. Okay, we're going to move on now to the White House, where President Trump is facing the first official call to release his tax returns. The top House Democrat on taxes has formally petitioned the IRS to release 6 years of Trump's taxes, citing a provision of the tax code that gives him that power. But President Trump is showing no signs of giving in. Take a look.
I'm always under audit, it seems, but I've been under audit for many years because the numbers are big, and I guess when you have a name, you're audited. But until such time as I'm not under audit, I would not be inclined to do that. Thank you.
So let's bring in our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran. And Terry, the president was resisting. We just see that right there. But the Democrats may have the law on their side.
They might well, George. They've got a strong case, but this is shaping up to be a huge and important legal battle, really, for every American. So here's what's happening. Chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Democrat Richard Neal of Massachusetts, sent that letter to the IRS demanding all those Trump tax returns. And he's citing this 1924 law that allows the heads of a few committees in Congress to get the tax returns of any American. As long as there is, the Supreme Court says, a legislative purpose. They have to be involved in passing a law to get these returns. And they're supposed to keep them secret, but this is Congress, so we can't really expect that. President Trump is fighting back, as you see. He once promised he would release his tax returns. Now he says the audits won't let him. But this is going to be a major legal fight, and it will probably end up in the Supreme Court. The privacy rights of Americans around those tax returns are very important. The IRS takes that very seriously. This will go to court.
Another big legal fight. Democrats have also subpoenaed the White House and others for the Mueller report, the Justice Department for the Mueller report. It comes as the New York Times and others reporting that members of Mueller's team may believe that that summary from the Attorney General William Barr may not have done justice to their full report.
That's right. And this is what you can expect when that full report wasn't released. So the New York Times, Washington Post are reporting that some investigators, unnamed, are telling associates, unnamed, that they aren't happy with that 4-page summary that the Attorney General issued of that report. They think that the findings of their investigation is more troubling to President Trump. It just shows that sunshine is really going to be necessary. That report is likely to come out, George.
Could see it next week. Okay, Terry, thanks very much. Cecilia?
Okay, George, we're going to turn now to that mea culpa from former Vice President Joe Biden. He released a video responding to those accusations of unwanted affection, promising that he's gotten the message and vowing to change this as he is now facing some new accusations this morning. Senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce has more from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Cecilia. Well, Joe Biden hasn't even announced yet if he is running, but already his would-be campaign is doing damage control. In an online video, the former vice president is explaining his personal approach to politics, but he's also saying the times have changed, and now he says so should he. This morning, Joe Biden is promising to change his ways.
Social norms have begun to change, they've shifted, and the boundaries of protecting personal space have been reset. And I get it. I get it.
Overnight, 3 more women telling the Washington Post Biden's behavior was inappropriate, bringing the total to 7. The former vice president is now acknowledging that his hands-on approach made some women uncomfortable.
I've never thought of politics as cold and antiseptic. I've always thought it about connecting with people. As I said, shaking hands, hands on the shoulder, a hug, encouragement.
But for some of the women who say Biden crossed the line, his comments aren't enough. One former White House intern telling the Post this is not mainly about whether Joe Biden has adequate respect for personal space. It's about women deserving equal respect in the workplace. Biden still has not apologized, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has suggested he should. She's recommending Biden take a different approach.
I'm a member of the Straight Arm Club. I mean, I'm a straight armor. All of this. Just pretend you have a cold and I have a cold.
Now, a source close to Biden tells us that these allegations are not impacting his decision whether or not to jump into the presidential race. And Biden has now announced his first public event since all of this began. He will be speaking to union workers here in D.C. tomorrow. Michael.
All right, thank you so much, Mary. And now to that urgent search that's underway for an American tourist kidnapped on safari overseas. Authorities say gunmen took the woman and her guide hostage in Uganda. ABC's Ian Panel is there with the very latest. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. A large-scale manhunt is now underway to find the missing American woman and her local driver after what should have been a holiday of a lifetime went suddenly wrong.
This morning, an American tourist being held in Uganda by kidnappers demanding a ransom. Authorities say the men wearing military uniforms abducted Kim Sue Endicott while she was on safari in Uganda's Queen Elizabeth National Park. According to Ugandan government officials, Endicott and her safari guide, driver John Paul Merenge Remezo, were taken hostage by 4 unidentified gunmen around 6 p.m. local time Tuesday. Police say the kidnappers used her cell phone to demand a ransom of $500,000.
We strongly believe that this ransom is the reason behind the kidnap.
The gunman taking the keys to the group's vehicle and leaving behind an elderly Canadian couple who reported the kidnapping. Ugandan officials now blocking off all the park exits near the border with neighbouring Congo while security forces investigate.
We strongly believe the victims could still be trapped within our search area, and we are hopeful that our efforts will lead to their successful and safe recovery.
The national park is home to Uganda's most popular tourist destination, where the group was on safari, where tourists are often accompanied by armed guards.
We have ranger guides who are usually armed, and that's one of the reasons why we have guns anyway, to protect our visitors, not only against wildlife, but also against illegal armed entrants.
So the Ugandan National Police now telling ABC News that they've widened the search this morning beyond the southern border of this national park, believing the kidnappers may have fled the area. And a reminder that US official policy is not to pay kidnappers. All worrying developments for the family and friends of the missing this morning. Cecilia?
Very worrying indeed. Okay, Ian, thank you. We're going to turn now to what could be a huge break in the case of a young boy who went missing nearly 8 years ago. Now a teenager claiming to be Timothy Pitson appeared in Kentucky and asked a stranger for help, saying he escaped kidnappers. ABC's Whit Johnson is there on the scene in Newport with the latest. Good morning, Whit.
Cecilia, good morning to you. The Timothy Pitson disappearance has baffled authorities for years. The boy's mother taking him out of school, then taking her own life days later. The boy nowhere to be found until yesterday, a 14-year-old coming forward, begging for help, making a shocking claim.
This morning, the 8-year search for a missing boy may finally be over. Timothy Pitson was just 6 years old when he vanished in 2011. Last seen in this surveillance video, being picked up by his mother before they both disappeared. Then, just yesterday, a stunning development. Police in Kentucky getting a call about a boy claiming he just escaped his kidnappers who held him captive for years.
He's with a 14-year-old juvenile, male white, says he was kidnapped from somewhere.
The 14-year-old calling himself Timothy Pitson, a boy who went missing without a trace in Illinois 8 years ago. Newport, Kentucky residents alarmed when they spotted this young teen alone wandering the streets.
He looked like he had been beat up, yes, punched in the face a couple of times. You could see the fear on him and how nervous he was and how he kept pacing, and he just looked odd.
Timothy's disappearance made national headlines.
I'd do just about anything to get him back.
Along with these surveillance videos of the young boy and his mother Amy on the move, seen at multiple motels and resorts. 3 days later, Amy taking her own life, leaving behind a chilling note saying that Timothy was somewhere safe, but that he would never be found. Then, yesterday's news. According to police, the teen said his captors are two white males built like bodybuilders, one with black curly hair and a spider tattoo on his neck, while the other is described as short with a snake tattoo on his arms. Our ABC affiliate, WCPO in Cincinnati, spoke with a concerned woman who first called police. She did not want to be identified.
He walked up to my car and he went, "Can you help me?" He told me he's been kidnapped and he's been traded through all these people. He just wanted to go home. I really felt bad for him.
I would ask anybody out there to please pray for Tim, that God keeps him close.
Investigators are reportedly conducting a DNA test to confirm the boy's identity and could have results as early as today. They are also continuing to look for those two men believed to be driving a white Ford SUV with Wisconsin plates. George.
Okay, Whit, thanks very much. We're going to get the latest now on that college admissions cheating scandal. A dozen parents, including Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, appeared in court facing a federal judge and possible prison time. ABC's Lindsay Davis here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, guys. It was a mob scene outside of federal court yesterday with about twice as many cameras as we've seen there previously for appearance in this case. And not just media, but fans, in particular for Lori Loughlin. 3 parents had their dates postponed, one of them saying they plan to enter a plea of guilty.
A mob scene as actress Lori Loughlin exited federal court in Boston Wednesday.
Get out of the way. Move.
Swarmed by media and some fans shouting, "Free Aunt Becky," referring to her character on the show Full House. She and her husband are accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their 2 daughters into USC, posing them as fake recruits for the crew team. Inside the courtroom, Loughlin smiled as she shook hands with prosecutors. When asked if she understood the charge against her, she affirmed, "Yes, Your Honor." Loughlin, along with the other parents charged, has surrendered her passport. She was in Canada filming when the scandal broke, but no longer needs to travel there since the Hallmark Channel ended their relationship.
Do you plan to fight this?
Also in court yesterday, Desperate Housewives star Felicity Huffman, who arrived holding hands with her brother, entering the courthouse 3 hours early, reportedly to avoid the crush of media. According to prosecutors, she allegedly paid $15,000 to have an SAT proctor correct her daughter's answers. In all, 12 parents stood before a judge Wednesday for a hearing on mail fraud charges. Combined, they're accused of paying $3.3 million to get their children admitted to some of the country's most elite colleges, and now face criminal charges punishable by prison time.
Among the conditions of bail, no guns, no drugs, no talking to witnesses or victims related to the case, excluding family members. They can only travel internationally for business and with permission. One couple entered a plea of not guilty. The others will enter pleas after they're indicted next week.
So much more to come.
Yes.
Lindsay, thank you.
Also this morning, we've got 2 big new ABC News exclusives. First, Democratic presidential contender Pete Buttigieg. You see him right there. He's here live.
Also, Facebook Mark Zuckerberg one-on-one, what he's doing to prevent election interference and what he's saying about your privacy. That is right here only on GMA this morning. But first, let's go back over to Rob.
Hey, good morning, guys. A little bit breezy up here yesterday, wasn't it? We got some more interesting weather coming from the Northeast. But first, I want to show you what's happening as far as severe weather. Yesterday in Willington, Texas, this is along the Oklahoma-Texas border where we had hail. And look at that inflow. This storm chaser getting some dust on the backside. Hail the size of baseballs. And we're looking for a severe weather threat today across Louisiana and parts of eastern Mississippi. Same deal, and this is going to be the mess as far as a cold rain for the Northeast. Time now for your Stormy Cities, brought to you by Liberty Mutual.
And Doug. What do all these people have in common, Limo? Exactly. Nothing. They're completely different people. That's why they need customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual. They'll only pay for what they need. Yes, and they could save a ton. You've done it again, Limu. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
A little cool this morning, but temperatures this afternoon climb into the upper 60s. Less windy than yesterday with a few added clouds. Tonight down to 50 with mostly cloudy skies, and then tomorrow a little cooler. 56 our high, and we'll also be tracking our next weather maker. So you'll want your umbrella tomorrow. The steadiest rain that we'll get will arrive after lunchtime, an 80% chance of rain at 4 o'clock. So keep the umbrella with you, as well as a light jacket for your Friday night plans. We dry out just in time for the upcoming weekend for the Cherry Blossom Festival. Temperatures in the low 70s.
Mayor Pete is next. We'll be right back.
What would I say to somebody living with HIV? Keep being you.